Our weather is about to go through a big change, everybody. As soon as this system in the Pacific comes across for this weekend for the West Coast, goes up towards the Midwest, it's going to clear the way for a train of storms to come through. Right now, our jet stream is getting broken by it, and we're getting a deep trough that's going up on a very high ridge. Now, this is going to bring a couple of storms, and it's going to bring rainfall and warmer temperatures towards the center in the eastern U.S. But I'm also showing that this high pressure that is building over here is going to stick around towards the end of November into December and grow even more. And this is going to bring storms, multiple storms, over and over into this path, tapping into the cold air, bringing in a lot of snow. And December is looking like a whole bunch of snow is coming in, especially as we go late November into the beginning of December. Now, this is going to bring rounds of severe weather as well. But at the same time, we have a GLE happening, and this is happening tonight. This is where we have multiple CMEs, coronal mass ejections that came from the sun, impacting Earth, everybody. This is going to create a G4 geomagnetic storm. This is where auroras has been seen all the way far south as Alabama and Florida, and for tonight is going to be very strong before it moves away. This is actually a once or twice in a 20-year event. Now, you can see this from our weather pattern when you look at our jet stream. As this trough, this system in the Pacific brings our jet stream further and further south. It creates that high ridge, that warmer anomaly that comes across the center and the eastern U.S. Now, before this storm system comes across the U.S. as it's impacting the West Coast all weekend long, we have this other trough, this other storm system that's going to form up in Manitoba, Canada. This will impact Ontario and Quebec as well, but this will create a front, and we may get a clipper that comes through as we go through for Sunday. And this will bring chances for more snowfall, probably in the higher elevations, more northern of New England. So it's not going to be a huge event. We're going to be on a warmer scenario, but it is bringing that cooler weather for y'all only, while everyone else is still warmer along the south. But when this system comes in for this weekend, for Monday into Tuesday, bringing another storm right along the Central Plains up through the Midwest. Now, this could bring some severe weather. This could go a little further north. It could go a little further south. But shortly after that, we're going to have a storm system after a storm system after a storm system. It's going to be a train of storms that's coming with this weather pattern. So I'm going to walk you through the forecast. You can see we still get some lake effect snow, still getting some snow for the northeast as we go through for today and a little bit for tomorrow as well, as that storm system starts coming in for California. Now remember, there's two storms. There's that storm system in the Pacific that's trying to be a cutoff low, might actually become a cutoff low. And we have that short trough that's going through for Washington, Oregon into Canada. Now, the short trough from Washington, Oregon, there's a lot going on, into Canada will go across towards Manitoba, bring a big storm, even a lot of snow, potentially for Ontario and Quebec. But this is what's coming through and bringing maybe the freezing rain and the snow that's going to add up for the northern half of New England. That is going to be it on that. Everyone else just going to see a rainy scenario, and you're going to get some storms along California as you go through for Thursday. Then into Friday, it's going to go even lower. But you can see here also that after that, it's going to go across for the Four Corners, and it's going to pivot right here for Sunday. It could bring a lot of rainfall towards Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and Southern California. We could see a little bit more of your flash flooding from this atmospheric river, while you get that storm system for the northeast, that little clipper piece that came from that storm system over here for Canada. It's going to bring a lot of snow towards Manitoba, maybe some rainfall and snow for Ontario, and then really heavy snowfalls for Quebec as you go through for Sunday. But then when this comes through, the storm system in the Pacific from California comes through for Monday and Tuesday, bringing a potential severe weather storm for the Midwest. Now, this could bring freezing rain, also a lot of snow. You see how much of a warmer scenario we are. But this is also bringing chances for thunderstorms. We do have some lift that could be reaching up and creating our severe weather event further towards the north for Tuesday. But shortly after this storm passes by, as we go into next week, we're going to see storm system after storm system after storm system, because that storm is out of the way, and now this train of storms can come through. So maybe we'll see another storm system by Thursday, and we'll still go towards the northeast, maybe bringing that strong nor'easter. Still showing that possibility, but if you remember in yesterday's forecast, this was right here. Now it's going over here. This is trending further and further towards the east. I'm showing with the snow totals that we're not going to see a lot of snow until we start going towards the end of November. Then it's going to pile in with these storms. So first, the storm system coming from California and the Four Corners going through the Midwest. So as you go through for Monday, you get a lot of cape, a lot of lift, and you could see some banding happening right here while you get this low pressure system building and bring a severe weather event. Now this is going past 5 days. This is going right after 5 days into 6 days, and possibly going even further along with this storm as we go from 6 to 7 days. So we really need to watch this. I'm showing this could be a little bit further towards the south. And you can see this here on the ensembles. Showing more than likely it will be a little further towards the south, where we might get that low pressure system somewhere over here by Nebraska or by Iowa, and then bring storms over here for Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois. Some of these show it could go as far north as Wisconsin and Michigan, but if you look at the majority of these, they show a little further to the south side. It'd be more like going towards Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and Illinois. Maybe not as north as high as Wisconsin. You see that? Showing as we go into tomorrow, you can see some storms over here for Northern California. That's tomorrow morning. And as by the time you go through tomorrow evening, it's going to be moving all the way down Southern California, while you get storms in Washington. Now, as you go by Thursday into Friday, this is where it moves across the southwest, starts bringing some storms across Southern California, even into possibly Arizona, Utah, and Nevada, all the way till Saturday, where you get that clipper building over here from that storm in Canada, and maybe clips a little bit of the northeast with some storms. Then the northern half of New England still getting that freezing rain and that snow. That has not changed. But the storm system coming from the southwest, showing as soon as we go Sunday into Monday, is really going to pivot from Monday evening into Tuesday. This is where it's bringing chances for thunderstorms, maybe some severe weather, bringing some snow on the wraparound. It is still a warm scenario, but look at this. Maybe some freezing rain and some mix coming out of it, and maybe a couple of bands of severe weather that could form from that storm. And then maybe as we go Wednesday and Thursday, going further towards east, while that next storm system comes in for Thursday into Friday. And that's the one that could bring more severe weather, but also bring heavy snow with it for the northeast as that colder air pivots down into the Ohio Valley. So we have multiple storms that is coming around the corner. It's going to move around a little bit. I will keep you updated. But that's normally what we see around this time of year is temperature fluctuations in November, because we're going in between two different seasons. And this is our second severe weather season. So for the next 7 days, showing that we could get heavier rainfall from these storm systems, from the one going by Washington and Oregon into Western Canada, and the one that's pivoting down California across the Four Corners. Bring in some good rainfall with it as well, but this will create some flooding. Now, this also is bringing some snow. Now, for the next 6 days, you can see that storm system going across from Manitoba, Ontario into Quebec, that it is still bringing some snow for the northern half of New England. We are getting some snow for the Rockies as well. And then that next storm system coming right behind that as we go Monday into Tuesday, that could bring severe weather. It'll bring snow on a wraparound as well, and maybe major snow going across Michigan and for New England. Now, this is showing potentially 1 to 2 feet of snow and over a foot of snow for Michigan. This is going to move around a little bit. This is literally going right at 6 days right here. This is 7 days. So I think it's going to be a lighter snowfall. I'm showing it's going to be a lighter snowfall, and then it's going to move in really deep as we go into December. But we do need to pay attention, not just for the possible severe weather and storms, the snow, but also some freezing rain that could come on the southern side of that system. And as we look at what's trending and what's happening at the end of November into December on our snowfall, and you can see how it's coming down from Canada. So as we go towards the end of November, it's going to start coming in even deeper. And you can see the pivot is going into that deep trough, into that high ridge, where everyone else to the north is seeing snow. Everyone else on the southern side is going to see rain, but potentially severe weather from storm after storm system. And you can see as you go from the end of November into December, it keeps coming in even deeper and stays there in this pattern. Now, once you go past the beginning of December, it could stay around the Great Lakes and the Northeast for multiple storm systems, but showing that we're going to this extreme pattern as we go from the end of November into the very beginning of December. You can see with GFS, it is trending as well. We're going to that pivot as we go into the November 30th, and then it's going to go even further for the Great Lakes and the Northeast for the beginning of December. And the snowfall from now to the very beginning of December is ridiculous. Look how far south you could see snow. Now, this isn't GFS going crazy. This is the Euro. And look at this map versus the GFS map. They are pretty much identical. It is trending that snow is going to start moving in a very big way as we go into the very beginning of December. Multiple snowstorms coming through, and it's going to bring a lot of snow. But be aware, we're going to a warmer pattern as well for the central and the eastern U.S. So not only a lot of snow, this is potentially bringing in a lot of freezing rain. So how much snow? I'm glad that you asked. You can see along the west coast, it's going to bring potentially feet of snow in the higher elevations, especially for Washington, California, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. But everyone else is still going to be seeing a lot of snow as well. Look for the central U.S., going as far south as the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma and Kansas, getting a few inches as well as we go into the beginning of December, and a lot higher snow totals across the north, all the way towards the northeast, where you're going to see a lot warmer scenarios across the mid-Atlantic, but this will get really heavy as you pivot for the interior northeast and New England. You could even see novelty flakes over here for the deep south of northern Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia as we go through the beginning of December. Now, quick update on what's happening with these CMEs. We have a severe G4 geomagnetic storm that's underway. We already had a big night last night. Matter of fact, photographs has been seen as far south as Florida, Texas, Arizona, and Alabama. Now, when this X5 flare shot yesterday, it went towards Earth, and some of the particles are so powerful they are penetrating the atmosphere all the way to the ground. This is called a ground level event. Now, this was a big X5 flare, and you can see down here below that this was literally a once or twice in a 20-year event. This only happens once or twice in a solar cycle. This one is comparable to the one in 2006. Now, this will impact a lot of people with your ham radios, also with your GPS navigations, so be aware of that as well. But this was very powerful and almost a G5 event, which is the highest it can go. So make sure you get outside right after dark, get away from wherever some light is, because it's called light pollution, and try and see these auroras for tonight. Now, before I go, I made a winter holiday collection so you can show support if you want to show support. This helps me keep going, doing what I'm doing. Now, the link is in the description of every video, and all you do is click on it. You can get a coffee mug, you can get a candle, you can even get a hoodie if you want one, because it's about to get cold. There's many ways to show support. Just go down to the link below. And once again, thank you to everyone that has already shown support. I really appreciate your support. It helps me do what I do on a daily basis. If you want to show support, go to the link below in the description of this video and get yourself a candle or a mug or even a hoodie. And once again, thank you again. I really appreciate you. So that is your latest weather forecast. So thank you again for your time, everybody. Hope you have a very blessed day out there today. Now, before you go, make sure you're very kind and considerate to other people. There's a lot of people going through things right now, and you really don't know because we don't talk about things. Just be that brother or sister and be considerate towards other people. Now, before I go, a quick word from our Father, Ephesians 4:31 and 32. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Amen. So remember, everybody, we have a train of storms coming as we go past this storm system on this weekend, and it's going to start flooding in from the end of November into the beginning of December, where it's going to be half rain and half snow. So get ready for a lot of snow coming in. Also, unfortunately, this is going to bring a lot of severe weather on the southern half. I will keep you updated. Make sure you subscribe for updates. And remember, above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope He keeps you safe every single day of your life. And forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Watch for those auroras.